What is up, everybody? Star Wars Dad back for another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Han Yellow list that won a 1K and a 2K over this weekend with actually the same player in the same exact list, which is this list right here. This deck is incredibly powerful. It plays very similar to Boba Yellow. And I think if I think it takes a lot of reps to get a feel for this deck of like when to deploy a resource, when to keep certain cards, what cards to resource in general, how to play Tech and DJ effectively, how to play R2, C-3PO, and Ezra to get your draw engine going. I think it also helps if you played with this Han leader and have a lot of experience. I think if you've played with Han, this Han leader, you played a lot of Boba Yellow, then I think this won't take too many reps to get a feel for it, but it's still a very meticulous and difficult deck to play in general. But it is a super fun deck to play and very, very strong. So let's kind of get into the list and break it down. So the 3 R2-D2 and the 3 C-3PO are going to be your early draw engine. You can play them both on turn 1 to immediately start drawing cards, which is awesome. Another card that goes really well with these two cards in the engine is the Ezra Bridger, because Ezra allows you to see what card is on top of your deck. So you can leave it there and then draw it with C-3PO if you have a C-3PO out in case the R2-D2 has died. So it's a very, very strong combination of cards to draw cards. Then we have 3 Spark of Rebellion. Spark of Rebellion, I feel like, has just gotten even better this set as there's more and more impactful and powerful cards. A turn 1 Spark of Rebellion can really offset your opponents, even against like Sabine and Boba, because you can remove the turn 1 play that they had planned out from the resources, especially if you have the initiative, and then you can go Spark of Rebellion into like Bodhi, Rook into Qi'ra, which is just a crazy good curve. That is one of my favorite lines of play. I come from a Magic background, so it's like Spark of Rebellion is like a turn 1 Thoughtseize. Bodhi Rook is like a Duress that is a unit, and then Qi'ra is just I can't remember the name of that card, but it's a very annoying card. It was like a Humans deck in Magic where you just make everything more expensive after discarding cards from their hand, and it's just like so difficult to play against. And it's probably still one of the best decks. I don't play Magic anymore, but it's probably still one of the best decks in the game, just because so much tempo. All right, so 2 new adventures, the next card in the list. This card is super fun in this list, and it makes a ton of sense because you are able to return a non-leader unit that costs 6 or less, which is just about everything in the deck except for Han Solo, to your hand, and then you may play it for free at just 2 costs. So you're using this to either heal your units occasionally. It's really good to replay a Millennium Falcon that's been damaged and then immediately attack in again to push damage, especially because it only costs 2 resources to do so. So you could combine that with like a surprise strike and get in for 6 more damage out of nowhere. It's very good for the units that have on-play effects like Bodhi Rook, Qi'ra, and Cantina Bouncer. So Cantina Bouncer with the new adventure is probably one of my favorite plays with that card, just to be able to attack in with the Bouncer, play new adventure, and bounce something again just for 2 resources. So super fun card, makes a lot of sense in here. The interview that was done with Rebel Resource and the player that played this deck is definitely worth checking out. It's really insightful, and he does a very, very good job of explaining how he played this deck. But that was one of the plays that's really stood out to me, and since I've been playtesting this deck out, that has been a lot of fun and very, very impactful in the state of the game. Then we're playing 3 Cloud Rider, which is, typically you want that against aggro. It's not bad against like control because you're still getting a 3-powered unit on board, but you're usually using it as a form of removal for a ground unit early on, just to kind of slow things down. Then of course 3 Surprise Strike. So one of the ways that you can beat aggro is just to tempo them out with your Spark waylays, cunnings. The other way is that you just outrace them. So Surprise Strike is in here for that purpose. A really, really strong play on turn 1 is if an aggro deck has played like a green A-Wing or an Alliance X-Wing, and then you bring out the Falcon and immediately swing in and kill that unit in space just to completely set them back a turn. You know, usually Sabine wants to like play green A-Wing and then play Wing Leader onto the green A-Wing and make it a 5-powered space unit for turn 2, and that's just usually, for a lot of decks, very difficult to deal with. For this deck, because you have the Falcon as a possible turn 1 play, that's one answer, and then of course you could always just waylay it or cunning it, which is another great answer for those plays that Sabine likes to make. Ezra, of course, is in here for the draw engine, but it's also just a good body. It's a good turn 1 play because Ezra in itself allows your hand to replenish while you can play cards off the top of your deck. So I really just love that card in here. It's a great turn 1 play. There's a lot of really good turn 1 plays, which in testing has felt great because, you know, some decks, that's one of the struggles when you're playing a lot of higher power units, but this particular deck, you have a lot of turn 1 plays and you have 18 3-drops, so you could play any one of those on turn 1. Not that you really want to play Waylay most of the time on turn 1, but definitely some cool interactions that you can do with those cards. Then of course the Body Rook. So Body Rook is going to be very, very good against control. It's going to be, I think it's still good against Sabine and Boba. It's just not like the most amazing thing, but you know, coming in against a Sabine or Boba deck on turn 1 and you know, Sabine specifically, and just like taking a heroic resolve or taking for a cause I believe in, that's a really impactful play, and you're still getting a body on board that you can use as a defense mechanism for their ground units. So it's still very good. It's just an awesome card in general. 3 Waylays, of course. Waylay is just an awesome tempo card. And of course in here, in Han decks, it's really easy to play it alongside another unit or another tempo card. So that's what I love about it in here. It's just that because of your ability to ramp with Han, you're just able to play Waylay plus something else. And waylaying a big play, especially if your opponent spends all their resources on like on a Poe, for example, you waylay Poe, you completely set them back a turn, and then you're still able to play like a Tech or a Falcon or Ezra, and you know, that's just really impactful for the tempo of the game. Then the 2 sweet cards that are in this deck are DJ and Tech from set 2. So this is kind of like what makes this deck awesome, is these 2 cards. So a really cool play is on turn 2 you play Tech. On turn 3 you activate Han's ability to go up to 5 resources, and you can resource a DJ from your hand. And then you can immediately use Tech's Smuggler ability to bring DJ out, and you can knock your opponent from 4 resources down to 3 resources. And if you time it right, and if your opponent was trying to attack in or something, you can do this, which is typically what you do. You try to attack in first, right? But you can time it right, and you can flip DJ, take their resource, and prevent them from deploying Sabine, which is just crazy good. This also pops you up to 6 resources now on that turn, which, even if they do deploy Sabine before you do this, is still great because you are bringing out Han the same turn that they are bringing out Sabine. And that is just really, really hard for Sabine to deal with, because you have just gained a lot of board presence, and as long as Han can stay alive, that is just a really impactful play. But that's just one of the cool things you can do with this deck. I mean, with Tech out at any time, you can smuggle DJ out for 5 resources because of Tech's ability. So that just makes Tech and DJ were just meant to be together. They are just 2 cards that work very, very well together. Of course, another great thing about Tech is that you're able to smuggle anything from your deck. So, as long as you have Techs, you're just going to keep resourcing, because at any time you can smuggle Tech out, and then smuggling Tech out allows you to smuggle out other cards from your resources. So it's a really good way to fight against a lot of these hand disruption decks like Rey Red or Han Blue, just where they're constantly using like Pillage and Force Throw to try to disrupt your lines of play. And it's just a kind of way, it just does really good against those decks because you can just smuggle everything. And just smuggling tech, putting those cards in your resources is a really good way to protect them as well. Against Palpatine. So Palpatine Green is one of this deck's biggest weaknesses. Just Palpatine, it ramps, it's going to steal your big units. It just can overpower you with command. The Emperor's Royal Guard is a difficult sentinel to deal with. So, against a deck like that, from what the player who made this list was talking about, is that you really want to go heavy in space because Palpatine is not as strong in space. So you're bringing in the mercenary gunship, and you kind of want to push more, as much damage as you can as quickly as possible as a way to beat that deck. He said that matchup's about 50-50, so one of the tougher matchups, and that is relevant because Palpatine Green has been very prevalent and already successful in early tournaments from set 2. Another way to deal with that deck is to try to use like Spark of Rebellion or Body Rook even on turn 1, or just the curve of Spark of Rebellion, Body Rook into Qi'ra / Cunning as a way to just kind of remove as much ramp from their hand as you can. The Auzituck gunships are just going to be really good against aggro decks as a way to come in and just take out threats in space immediately. Again, the 3/4 body is just really good, and the Falcon and the gunship together just give you a really strong early answer to those space heavy decks like Sabine Yellow, sometimes Sabine Green, even like Moff Tarkin Yellow. I could see them being very relevant as a way to just come in and kill the Phantom. So then we have the 3 Cunnings, of course, which is one of my favorite cards in the game, and just why you play any double yellow aspect deck. And Cunning does a lot of things in here against aggro. Of course, you're exhausting waylaying units. You're also, like on the Han flip turn, if you're not exhausting units, you're pumping things up to +4 as another way to push damage. So you're typically doing like exhaust 2 units, pump up 4, or return a unit to their hand if they have a really wide board. And on the Han flip turn, you're at 7 resources, so you can play Cunning alongside like a Millennium Falcon as another way to push damage. So if you're plussing 4 with Cunning and playing Falcon, you can really, really swing the momentum of the game once you exhaust those 2 units and get it for an additional 7 damage out of nowhere. So just a really, really strong card against control. Of course, you're using it to, discard cards from their hand, exhaust units. Qi'ra is going to be really important in certain matchups. Of course, the curve of Spark of Rebellion, Body Rook into Qi'ra is just absolutely awesome. But Qi'ra is also good against like more expensive units. So like, the player that made this deck talks about like how Qi'ra, he used that against Vader because Vader's a very difficult card for this deck to deal with, because Vader comes in, it ambushes in with 5 power and deals with just about every unit in the deck except for the Han Solo unit, and then gets to play another unit. So a way to combat that is to play Qi'ra to make Vader more expensive to cost 9, and then you're using tech and DJ and the smuggling ability on DJ to steal their resources and just prevent them from playing their more expensive units. It's also just a way, like against like Palpatine, one of the the more expensive leaders like Palpatine, as you're using DJ to try to prevent them from ever getting their leader out, especially if you're able to get back-to-back DJs or multiple DJs out, or played in a single game, just to kind of continue to keep their resource behind while you continue to ramp up and gain advantage, especially with your card draw engine. So it can get really crazy, some of the things you can do with this deck. Cantina Bouncer, of course, is one of my favorite cards in this list as well. I love the new adventure play. Cantina in itself is just very strong. And then Millennium Falcon, the 5/5, So this is a good finisher. It's also another form of ambush. You play from your hand at 6 resources to take out a big space threat. Another cool play is that if you smuggled it out for, I think it's for 5, I think you smuggled it out for, you can play New Adventure on it later on and then immediately get to ambush it in, because New Adventure says it goes back to your hand. So you can then ambush it in after attacking with it. It's also just a really good target for like surprise strike and cunning to help you close the game out. And then of course the 3 Han Solo. So Han Solo is just another really fun card to play. I think it gets even better in set 2 because of how many relevant units there are that have 6 HP that Han can just come in and not take any damage, like Darth Maul, Wrecker, Poe. I mean, those are cards you're going to be seeing all the time, and Han, and the ability to play Han on your, essentially on your 5 resource turn in this deck is just really, really strong, and just gives you kind of a leg up with getting that card out, because it's such a good card. Like, it really does just, like, kill a thing, and then just, if it sticks on the board, I mean, that's a good game. Even if you don't cheat it out on the 5 resource turn, and you play it a little later, it's just really impactful at coming in and like trading favorably with a lot of units. Like it can come in and finish off a Boba leader. Like I said, it can one-shot Maul, Poe, or Wrecker, which is really important. A lot of times against Sabine in testing so far, that's the card that I just have waiting in the wings to kill the Poe or Wrecker as I'm slowly taking the tempo over with my multitude of tempo cards. In the sideboard, the 3 Go-Go's are you're bringing in for Sabone and Sabone. You're bringing in for Boba and Sabine. It's really good against the Boba leader if they don't deal with it. It's just a way to kind of shut that down, and helps you to on their Boba flip turn to prevent them from getting that advantage that they get on the flip turn with attacking in with the leader. So that's a really good card to bring in against them. It's also good against Sabine. If you're able to get it down turn 1 and just start preventing certain units to claim the initiative and prevent certain units from attacking, it's going to be really hard for Sabine to push damage onto you. The 3 Mercenary Gunship are coming in against like Control and like Palpatine decks to help you push damage in space. The Gunship is coming in against aggro decks or just heavy space decks, Moff Tarkin Yellow, things like that, that you just want to have that additional ambush unit in space. Fel the Dragon is coming in against Fett's Fire Spray or just decks that have big powerful units, Palpatine as well. Syndicate Lackey is coming in against Sabine. I would bring it in against Boba. I think it's coming in against Palp to help you remove difficult Sentinels. I would consider adding a second Lackey just for my playstyle, just as a way to deal with Sabine. I may even mainboard it if I were to play this deck, just because Sabine is so prevalent. And even it's good against Boba too, and just Boba is incredibly prevalent too. Like those are the 2 decks you're probably going to see most of, and if you're, basing your list to a certain extent on what you're going to be seeing, just because of the supply issue with this game right now, Boba and Sabine are going to be the decks that you probably see the most of. So I think Syndicate Lackey is worth looking at bringing in a second copy at the very least. But yeah, this deck has been super fun to play, super strong. Shout out to Rebel Resource for the great interview. It was very insightful and helpful, and I was able to kind of pick this deck up pretty easily, just because of my experience with Boba Yellow and Han the leader, and just also just playing tempo decks from Magic the Gathering. But the interview was very helpful too. This deck definitely takes a lot of playtesting though. Like you are going to need to play like 100 games, to really get a feel for this type of deck, because just the multitude of matchups, you can really screw yourself over if you use Han's ability too early or on the wrong thing or resource the wrong card. So you really, really have to get in a lot of playtesting so that you really feel confident with your lines of play and what you're doing with a deck like this. In general, I think Han the leader, this Han is one of the harder leaders in this game to play, and it really just requires a ton of testing to really, because its ability is amazing, but you really can also, it's like high risk, high reward. It's like the ultimate high risk, high reward leader. And I think in a deck like this, if you get in a ton of testing, then it can become a lot more just a reward for you. And I think that's what he did this past weekend when he won these 2 big tournaments, is that the risk, he really mitigated his risk with a lot of playtesting and just really understanding his lines of play. And but this is, you know, these types of decks, like these Han decks, from my experiences, like you can really, they are high skill decks. Like you really got to know what you're doing, and you can really screw yourself over if you make one misplay here and there. So you really have to know what you're doing, and that just comes from reps, a ton of reps. So I can't stress that enough. As always, though, please like and subscribe. We are getting close to the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, which will be, I would imagine, within the next week that should be happening. So make sure that you comment on the community page with the deck that you're most excited to play, so that you have a chance at winning one of the 4 cards that I will be giving away. I greatly appreciate all the love and support that you guys have given me, and it definitely keeps me motivated to keep making these videos. But let's get into some games and see how Han Yellow performs. Alright, up against Sabine Green. No, we're not mulliganing. We definitely want to find a ground unit here. We could turn 1 Spark. I think we're probably gonna turn 1 Spark since we have the initiative. So we're gonna let go Auzituck. Oops, why does it do that, man? I did not click that twice. No mulligan. So we're gonna get rid of Auzituck and Surprise Strike. Okay, there we go. And then we're just gonna play Spark so we can get rid of their 2-drop in their hand if they just have 1. Ideally, we want them to have a space unit so that we can just bring on the Thunder next turn. Okay, so Fleet Lieutenant for a cause. So that's a really good Spark. Okay, we'll take our 1, claim the initiative. So we know they have for a cause. Do we want 2 Falcons? I don't think so. For a cause is all we saw. We saw Wrecker and Fleet Lieutenant, right? So we'll play Falcon, get it for some damage. Okay, there's the for a cause, which is fine. The fact that Sabine doesn't have any units on board at the moment is good. Yes, we're gonna play 1 for Falcon, and then we're gonna get rid of 3PO here. Okay. Swinging in for 3 again. Okay. That's not the worst thing ever. We're gonna play a resource so that we can play the Gunship, so that we can have another unit to keep up the pace with Sabine. Next turn we're gonna play Cantina. Or Cunning, actually. Choose a card to resource DJ. Easy choice. Destroy that. 5 resources. What just happened? Do we have the initiative? Oh, so we're gonna Cunning. We're gonna return a unit and exhaust a unit. Return, exhaust, exhaust. So that's gonna be pretty bad for them, especially because they want to ECL Poe in this turn. Okay, another for a cause is definitely not the worst thing ever. We'll just put damage to their face. We could flip Han this turn and get in for 4 more to go to 18. I think it's worth it at this point. Just because we're so far ahead, we just want to just keep putting the pressure on. Gotta get in for 6 damage. A surprise strike would have been ideal, but I think we're pretty strong in space right now where they're gonna have to ECL something. So, but I think we're in good shape. The cunning was pretty brutal, and then just the turn 1 spark. Okay, that's a good card. Just strong card. Does things. Okay, cool. Catches them up a little bit for sure, but we're going to be 1 damage away. And then we're just going to claim the initiative. And there's really not much they can do. So, okay, they are trying to choose a card to add to the top deck. Yeah, that's fine. So they need some way to pump up record to win it, to beat us, which is very possible. Okay, they didn't get it. Good game. It's a close one. Yeah, I mean, Wrecker's awesome. So it makes this matchup hard. Like, Wrecker is amazing. Poe is amazing. Especially Wrecker, though. But, good one. Alright, we're going to resource tech and C-3PO here. Okay. Pass. See if they play a unit. We're going to play Cloud Rider. Okay. Take our 2 damage. I guess. Just get that in. Okay, 2 cartel turncoats. So we're definitely looking for like Falcon or Auzituck gunship here. Not that. I think we're just going to play Ezra. Well, never mind, we're playing DJ. Okay. Get cunning next turn, just gonna be pretty strong. Really, it'd be nice if we got some space units since our opponent is going all space right now. Oh, they're swinging in for 7, we're swinging in for 6. Okay, there's a space unit. The adventure isn't bad. This turn with Cloud Rider. I think we're just going to play Cunning though. Kind of just exhaust and return a unit. Choose a unit to return, and exhaust and exhaust. Cunning is a very strong play against aggro, especially when our opponent's going wide like that. Okay. DJ will live, so we might attack in with DJ. But honestly, it's a race at this point. Okay. Alright, next turn we get Han. Get 7 resources, so Falcon would be, well, Falcon's 6 resources, I think. Auzituck gunship would be good, or another cunning, just because they're so heavy in space. No, so we can get up to 7, so we can do Falcon plus Cloud Rider plus New Adventure. That seems pretty good. I don't think we need Ezra at this point. Alright, we're gonna go Falcon first, so that we can kill one of their space units right off the bat. Yeah, that's the card I was hoping they didn't have. That's the card I was for sure hoping. If they kill Falcon, that's fine. Okay. We're gonna go. Action ability. We're gonna get rid of Body Rook, I think. New Adventure could be useful in this matchup just because we're racing. We're gonna try to waylay the Green Squadron here. Yes. Okay, cool. Nice. That was big. Alright, we're gonna go into DJ, take out Sabine. Then we are flipping Han. And we're in pretty good shape now. Cantina's really strong. I don't think we need Cloud Rider anymore. We're gonna let that go and that go. So Surprise Strike Cantina is gonna be our play here. So first we're gonna Cantina bounce this, and that should seal the deal in this game. It's kind of hard for our opponent to recover from that. We could also New Adventure and attack in again, or we could attack in for 6 here, Surprise Strike. I think just we get to play Cantina again for free. That's pretty disgusting, actually. That's crazy good, man. It's crazy good. And then we have Surprise Strike for next turn. Yeah. That was pretty awesome. I don't know what else to say. And then we can just Surprise Strike here for the win, so. He's got to have something big with ambush here, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, Surprise Strike. Good game. Alright, up against Sabine Red here. No, I think we're just getting rid of R2 and New Adventure. Probably just going to turn 1 Spark here. And just take away whatever 2-drop they have in their hand. Well, they have 2 2-drops, so I think DJ will get either well, Ezra's good too, so Cloud Rider would be nice here. Cunning's not bad for next turn. That's going to help us a lot. So we'll go Ezra. I think Wing Leader's the worst card that they could get. Kid swinging for 7 here, which is pretty strong. Is it 7 or 6? Yeah, it's 6. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's solid. Body Rook isn't bad because we know they have 4 cause. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill Sabine first, though. Top card is Cunning. Choose a mode for Ezra. Oof. We're gonna leave it because we have a Cunning in hand. We want to play Cunning when they have a unit out. Deal 2 damage. Okay, sure. Pass. Okay, he played 4 cause. That's fine. Pass. Okay. He's gonna take out Sabine, where you're gonna exhaust it and discard the card from us. No, he didn't even do it. Okay. That's totally fine. Alright, now we're at a place where we can flip on and play. So we could also play Cantina. Play a resource. Let's let Body Rook go at this point. Okay. 6/6. So we're gonna play Cantina. That's an easy choice. Okay, take our damage, swing in. Okay. Choose a card to resource. I don't think we want Falcon at this point. Aggression. He's doing 4 damage to Han. Okay. So we're just gonna swing in and kill Sabine. Then we're going to play this. Nope, and pass. Another Cantina is really good. We don't need a second surprise strike. Alright, we're gonna go here first. Yep, Cantina on that. We're gonna kill that. And pass. Okay. Again, Falcon isn't the worst at this point because we're trying to close the game out. I mean, how much do we want Spark is the question, because we could... Poe is the problem, right? This is where a new adventure would be good, because we can replay Cantina. Let's just pass. I like all of our cards. Okay, there's the Poe. Okay, we can get up to 6, 9, 17, 20 damage. $23 damage, which is pretty good. Okay, so let's Spark. Those are all cards. Yeah, K2SO is a card. So we're gonna kill Spec Force Soldier first. Actually, no, we're just gonna kill Poe. Just gonna kill Poe. That just eliminates the problem that we were worried about. Alright, then we can play Falcon. Then we can swing in with Ezra, and then surprise strike Falcon in for 6. Okay. Yes, we're gonna keep Falcon on board. Use a resource to exhaust attack. Okay. So let Ezra go. Alright. Let's play Body Rook. Of course, another one. Another Poe. And we cannot... We can get in for 7, 10 damage. I mean, all he needs is like, what, Heroic Sacrifice with Poe and we lose. So we could do +4 here, discard his card. I think it's worth the risk at this point. Buff unit, discard random. Alright. Nice. That was a close one, but good game. Alright, up against Bo-Katan Blue. Now I like our turn. We're going to go Spark into Body Rook. Into Qi'ra. It's going to be pretty annoying for our opponent. Just going to let R2 go. We're going to save the new adventure for Body Rook. Alrighty, we're getting rid of their turn 1 play. So they can't do anything. Turn 2, we're going to play Body Rook, getting rid of the Saber. Okay. I don't think we need Surprise Strike at the moment. I'd rather have Ezra for card advantage, potentially. Alright, we're playing Body Rook, we're getting rid of Dark Saber, and we are passing. Okay, interesting choice by our opponent there. Already played Ketsu on you, we're just gonna... Wait, undo that. Play New Adventure Ezra. You could just kill it. Is it active? Turn on only unit cost 6 like. Oh, I just play it for free. Okay. I could let Tech go. I think I'm okay with that. Or just play Qi'ra and trade. Armor, Survival, Daring Raid, Guerrilla Attack Pod. So we're just gonna make Armored Survivor. Cost 7. I'm sure our opponent's probably getting annoyed. I would be getting annoyed if I was playing against this too. Sure. Okay. Next turn we get to flip Han. Probably just resourcing tech here. Yeah. Yeah, especially because we have Waylay and Cunning this turn, so that's just disgusting. Okay, we're gonna play a resource. Probably this, just because we want to have another unit on board. Okay, that seems interesting. He flips on 6, right? Yeah. Okay, well we can just... Oops. Let's undo that actually, sorry. We're gonna do buff, discard random, and choose an action attack, and then we're gonna play Ezra and pass. Okay. I don't think we need second Ezra. That go, and we'll let Surprise Strike go. Okay, Bo-Katan at 7, we can Surprise Strike. Or we could just do this. Cloud Rider. So he takes some damage. Ouch. Gets a shield. Sure. That's the armor costs 7 resources. Oh, never mind. Qi'ra dead. Okay, my bad. So let's just take off the shield. I'm just gonna kill it with Han and then waylay his armor. It's totally fine. Take that, trade all day. Okay. and then waylay the armor, and pass. Okay. Big Han is good. And he's got to have another Vanquish. Because we don't want to be stuck doing nothing this turn. I mean, Cloud Riding, I don't know. I kind of want to take our chances because our hand size is low. We also could smuggle out tech. Yeah, that's not the worst thing either. And play Cloud Rider. Okay, so let's go face. And then we will ambush in Han, and that should wrap this game up. I'm just gonna pass again. Going face there. We have a good chance we could just waylay. Yeah. What do we want to waylay? Do I even care? I don't think I care. I'm probably gonna just waylay and play Falcon. Get it for that. Do we even care about waylay? I don't think so. Let's just do that. Take the shield off. Yeah. Alright, if they don't have a way to kill Han, then we just win the game. Pass. They have to Vanquish. Okay, good game. And another one. Alright, up against Kylo Red, so this is going to be a tough one. Would you like to mulligan? No, we're going to get Ezra down turn 1. Ezra's good. Why is New Adventure in here again? I thought I changed my list, but I must not have. It's okay, we'll just play it as is. Alright, what do we need to get rid of here? Probably Body Rook, I guess. We're probably going Ezra into Falcon, potentially if they go space. I hate to get rid of that card. We could just get rid of Ezra. I think I'm okay with that too, so that we can play Body Rook here. And then we can, yeah, get rid of Aggression, which was totally worth it. It's one of the best cards in their deck. Okay, we can play Cloud Rider here. Alright, we're gonna let Ezra go. Okay. We're gonna trade here. And then trade with Cloud Rider. Okay. Then we're gonna pass. We're gonna let R2 go, I think, here. So you're either playing Falcon or just playing Cunning here. So far, I'd say we're doing pretty good. Like the fact that they haven't put any damage on us at all yet is amazing. That's what you want in this type of matchup. He's probably going to discard a card. We're just going to pass. I mean, we know he wants to flip. Okay. Yeah, he's emptying his hand. We're just going to pass. I think the worst thing he could have is like Fallen Lightsaber in his hand. Okay, he didn't do it. Interesting. It's fine. We'll let Surprise Strike go. We're gonna flip Han this turn. Is the first thing we're gonna work on doing, and then we're probably gonna play Cunning Falcon. I'm probably gonna keep this Falcon here in case he has space units. Player resource is going to be... Well, we have this Falcon, so I don't think so. Never mind. We can always smuggle that back later. Deploy. Okay. See what he does. He's discarding a card. Okay. Who did he buff? Oh, the Guavian guy? Okay. Well, he can kill Han. But we can kill Stormtrooper. We could also just Cunning now, and then Surprise Strike his Kylo Ren. Okay, let's just do that. Let's return and exhaust. Which unit to return? Exhaust. Exhaust. Okay. He flips Kylo. And we just trade favorably with Kylo. Play Falcon. We could just claim the initiative here. Because he basically wants us to let Kylo come out, so we're just going to claim the initiative, so he can't do that. I'm sorry, what's happening? Why is he undoing his action? Because he didn't like that we claimed the initiative? That's not cool, man. That's what happens when you pass, dude. Because you know I'm going to kill Kylo, so... Yeah, I mean... That's why you can't do stuff like that. You just have to... I mean, I'm guessing that's what's happening here. I'm sorry, what? Okay, no worries. Alright, so we're just gonna trade. That's totally fine to trade. I do not care. We're gonna play Falcon. Get in for 3. Yes, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna let that go. Alright, Cantina's sweet here. Yeah, we don't need Surprise Strike. Cantina's pretty strong, especially if you buff something up. Okay, he's... yeah, so we're just gonna Cantina whatever he buffs up. He's discarded a TIE Fighter and he's buffing up a... He buffed up my Falcon? Why would he do that? I don't think he meant to do that. I think he meant to do 2 damage to me. Yeah, that's okay. I get it. This program still has some things to work out. They could make this a little less glitchy. That would be nice. Okay. Who'd he buff up this one? Yeah, so we're gonna Cantina that. Next turn we're going to play Big Han, and that should close the game out. Just kind of have to pace yourself a little bit. Don't get too excited. Okay, he's done. I get it. I get it. But yeah, so we attack him with Falcon, go up to 6. Next turn we play solo, we just kill whatever he has, and then there's nothing he can do at that point with no Kylo, so... Kylo is dead. Back for the post-game wrap-up. So this deck was super, super good. A couple of those games against Sabine were really close. And I think that's, you know, Sabine's just a strong deck. I think that's part of it. Like, Wrecker's an awesome card. Poe's an awesome card. Sabine, in general, has gotten better because of those cards and Timely Intervention. I mean, it's just, deck is really good. But I think also part of it is just my lack of reps with this deck. But in general, even with the lack of reps that I have, I really felt the power that this deck has, just with the tempo and the the lines of play that you can make. And DJ really does add something to this deck. Even just as a unit, I still think it's very good as a 3/5 unit. But just the combination of tech and DJ, and it was just a lot of fun to play. I didn't get to pull off any of the DJ tech tricks in the games, but I think that's more so because of lack of experience, and you're really just trying to make the plays that were what's the word, more conservative, just for playtesting. Because of my lack of experience, I think for somebody who's a lot more experienced with this deck would take a little more risks with some of those lines of play. I think those risk plays help you to seal the game a lot quicker, and just kind of, against certain matchups, they're really going to just put you so far ahead that you're leaving your opponent with no chance. The lines of play that I took, I think, were more, I'm still able to win, but the tempo of the game goes a little slower because of that. But either way, this deck is awesome. I think this is a deck that you're going to be seeing a lot of now that it has shown how good it is. So to me, it's just like a ramp version of Boba Yellow with the DJ tech combo, and then the Han Solo leader instead of like Fett's Fire Spray and Fennec Shand or whatever top end cards are in Boba Yellow. But it's a super strong deck. It has a lot of card draw. I think it has a lot of good matchups. This is just going to be a deck that it's just going to be hard to play against. I think Palpatine's going to continue to be difficult for it. Palpatine will probably adjust a little bit to deal with this deck as it becomes more popular. I would imagine they probably play Scanning Officer, or they probably at least sideboard three copies of it. I mean, now that this deck has shown how powerful it is, I think Scanning Officer is going to be a card that you're really going to want to play at least in your sideboard to help with these kind of decks that you get matched up against. I mean, I think last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Was it the weekend before? No, it was this weekend. Another Han Green list won with DJ. So, and I think it had tech as well. So, Han is really showing that it's, at this current point in time, the best deck in format. So you're going to have to be prepared for it. So how do you beat Han? You either run it over really fast, or you play like Palpatine, because Palpatine, puts strong sentinels in the way and then to slow it down, or you play like a ton of life gain. But yeah, this is a crazy good deck. Let me know what you guys think, if you've played this deck at all yourself yet, or if you have any questions. Again, I am not the expert on this deck. This deck is more, very specific to an individual player who's play tested it over 100 times at least in person, in paper. So, watch that interview from Rebel Resource. It's a great interview and it really explains. But I do think that this is a deck that is going to be a thing now. So you're going to have to be prepared for this wherever you play in any kind of tournament, because somebody's going to play it. Somebody who's been playing Han, or somebody who's been playing Boba Yellow, I think it's more of an easy transition for those type of players who have a lot of experience with those decks, specifically with Han. Because I think Boba Yellow definitely has certain play patterns, but in general the cards just kind of speak for themselves, I think. I think with Han, you really have to know what you're doing to make good decisions with the resources, and when to cheat things out, and when to deploy a resource and all that kind of stuff. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the gameplay, and any feedback is much appreciated. But as always, y'all have a good one, and